with the little things coming out in theaters, I thought it would be fun to sort of review this movie for you since it's both available on HBO Max and theaters. Now, the important question you have to ask yourself, is this worth watching at the theaters? No, absolutely not. I honestly don't even believe that it's worth getting HBO Max for. Now, before you get your pitchforks out telling me I have no good opinion and that I have trash takes, why don't you go ahead and set them down? And I'll tell you that this is just solely my opinion. If you enjoyed this movie, that's completely fine. And I'm going to get down to why I didn't particularly was fond of this movie. Now, before we get into that, let me go ahead and tell you what the main premise is. It's basically these two guys, Deacon and Baxter, working together trying to find out who this killer is. And they're basically complete opposites. You have one guy that's unhinged and out of control, and you have the other that's like goes by the book and shit. Honestly, though, the only good character that I really enjoyed was Jared Leto. Hands down, best character in the movie. If this movie wasn't 2 hours long, I would have recommended you to go and get yourself an HBO Max subscription. Sit yourself down and watch this movie solely for Jared Leto's performance, but I feel like the movie's a little too long for that. Now let's talk about the length of the movie. The movie is 2 hours long, so there's definitely a slow burn going around. I don't really mind the slow burn, but honestly, when you're doing that, you have to build up to something, and I found the ending to be lackluster. I wasn't really a fan of that, mainly because there was this important piece that they talked about somewhere in the middle of the movie, and they chose to ignore it. It's something that's pretty big. And with that little hint that they gave us, the ending becomes pretty obvious. I would like to think so. I don't know, maybe I'm just sort of prophet, able to see the future of movies or whatever. Now let's talk about Baxter. Baxter is the most dumbest person in the entire movie. Just he's just so stupid. And there's really a lot of stupid things in this movie, so I'll go ahead and give you an example. This one isn't really spoiling because it happens like within the 5 minutes of the movie. So in the beginning of the movie, there's this girl driving her car when there's a mysterious stranger like following her. There's a little bit of vehicle removers, and guess what happens? She stops at a gas station and gets out her car. That's the last thing you want to do, especially if someone's following you. So, if you want to know what kind of stupid shit we're dealing with, that's that and more. You're probably thinking to yourselves that, oh, you must really hate this movie. Must be a trash movie then. No, I don't think this movie is a bad movie. It had me engaged the entire time. I wasn't really bored during most of it. There wasn't ever a time where I looked at my watch hoping for this nightmare to end. Not that it was a nightmare. Like a father discovering his child is playing Fortnite, I came out of this movie disappointed. Hoping for so much more, but unfortunately the reality is this movie is basically average. If you've been wanting to see a new movie, like if you want to get that itch scratch, it will do a job. It will get the job done. But honestly, if I were you, I would just wait until something better would come out. I'm gonna go ahead and rate this bad boy a 7 out of 10. It's just an average movie. I didn't particularly enjoy it all that much, but if you like it more, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your opinions, man. This is Trusty J, and I'll see you guys next time.